Well, we have been traveling through this month of July under the banner of To Be Free. And today's topic is called forgiveness. This can be kind of a heavy subject at times because I think many of us, as they go through the experiences of life, more than once we have been wounded, and more than once we say, yes, I know I'm supposed to forgive, but I really don't want to. Not yet. I want to hold on to whatever these feelings are, and especially I want that other person to know how they are wrong and how they treated me, and that I want justification. I want revenge. We may not really say that literally in our heads, but in our hearts, more than once, if we're going to be honest about it, we have had those thoughts. And I don't know who wrote it initially, but we've all heard that saying, resentment is like taking poison and thinking the other person is going to die. When we hold those thoughts and those feelings of resentment, of wanting to get back, wanting to get even, it's not really hurting the other person, is it? It reminds me of a little video that somebody sent me about, there was a guy, and the title of it was the guy's first day as a hitman. And it shows a glass on a table up close. And he comes walking in kind of stealthily and has some powder of substance that he flicks into the glass from his fingers. And he takes his finger and he stirs it around. And then he licks his finger. And he turns back away from it and collapses on the floor because he had just licked his finger with the poison on it. It's kind of a funny thing, but it does point out what we're doing to ourselves when we're trying to kill somebody else, poison somebody else, give them some negative thing, and we are really literally doing it ourselves. Why is that? Because there is only one self, capital S. Joel Goldsmith says, this is the way, and the way is capitalized. There is but one self. I am that self. And I am that self, even if I am appearing as you. I am that self, even when I am appearing as the beggar or the thief. It is not easy then to forgive knowing that I am forgiving myself. Is it not easy then to forgive knowing that I am forgiving myself? That I am forgiving my own ignorance. Forgiving my own ignorance even when it appears as if it is someone else. Love is the fulfilling of the law. I must express love, forgiveness, and patience. The self of me is the self of you, because there is only one self, and this is God's self. I am the way. I am is the life of me and the life of you. I am is the immortality of me and the immortality of you. I am is the divine grace by which we live. And this is the basis of all mysticism. So I want you to take a nice deep breath. See if you can bring in what I just shared. What we're talking about here is getting the bigger picture. Getting the broad picture of life. This one self, this one life that is immortal, that never started, that never will end, that we can never be separated from it. That is our life. That's what we're talking about here. I don't know how many times I say this, I'm sure, every week. How many powers are there? There is one. One power. There is one self. There is one life. There is one energy. That's what we're talking about. And so when we want to be living on that road of freedom, we want to be able to set ourselves free from the hurtfulness that many times we do to ourselves, consciously, unconsciously. We think that we want to hurt somebody else when we're actually hurting ourselves. How many times have we put ourselves down? How many times have we thought that I'm not enough, that I did it wrong, that I should have, could have, if only I would have? I have a prayer that I say every day, actually while I'm doing my stretching. And it's the Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer. And in one part of it, it says, "Loose the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of others' guilt." Release the cords binding us. You see, it all starts with us. We are binding ourselves. And that's a cord. That's heavier than a little strand. You see, the little strand is what we're letting go of other people's doubts or transgressions, right? But we ourselves are the ones that place ourselves with more guilt than anyone ever would. So remember that freedom comes by living in the eternal now. Ellen Gilchrist said, "Don't ruin the present with the ruined past." Let it go. You see, we are given every moment is a gift. That's why we call it the present. It's a present. And we can absolutely allow ourselves to just forget, let go of what happened yesterday. If it wasn't good enough from my standpoint, it's okay. We are all living and growing and evolving and becoming more of what we are in energy, in essence, through this life that we are living. It says, I wrote in the thought for the week, forgiveness becomes possible only when we are willing to be open to be happy rather than upset, angry, and hurt. We have a choice. We can either choose to be happy or we can choose to, be angry. This isn't the way it was supposed to be. And I will agree that there are things that happen in life. Not everything in life is going to make us happy. I understand that. I know that all too well. In fact, I'll just share with you a little personal thing. My son, our son, is turning 39 years old today. It's Berkey Boy's birthday. Last Monday, as I was finishing up my walk, I got a phone call that he was in the hospital. He had gone there with chest pains. And he came home by Thursday. He was home, but he had experienced a heart attack. He had experienced 38% damage to a portion of his heart. And he didn't have to have stents, or anything like that, but it's kind of a wake-up call. Someone had said, well, it's kind of a good thing in a way because you recognize that there's something that needs to be checked out, needs to be changed, either with your lifestyle or your eating or whatever it might be. And it was interesting, he was saying that he saw 4 different doctors in this process. Not once did any of the doctors ask him about his job, what he did for a living, if it was stressful, anything. Every nurse that came into the room said, you must have a stressful job. And I find that interesting. I've told that to a couple people, and I've told that to one of my good friends, Jerry Troyer, Reverend Jerry Troyer. I was speaking on the phone with him the other day, and he, well, his partner had been a nurse for years and years and years, Jerry Collins, and he said, you know, my experience is that nurses have a tendency to come more from that feeling stance than the doctors seem to come from the clinical stance, you know, from the numbers and the hard facts, where a nurse has more of that tendency to be more tender. And so he's going to recognize that, you know, my workload probably is maybe too heavy for me, and I do need to make some changes there. Khalil Gibran wrote, I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet strange, I am ungrateful to these teachers. So recognize when things happen in life that weren't to our liking, that weren't what we expected, weren't what we would have requested, that there could be an underlying reason when we look at it that is a lesson for us, something to be grateful for. So remember that we are to live in this now. And remember that every one of us, ourselves included, totally, is doing the very, very best that we can do at this moment based on the level of our consciousness, based on what we are able to accept as the truth of our being. And so if we act less than, if someone acts less than, it's only due to ignorance. There is no sin. There is only a lack of understanding of what the truth is. You know, my little 3-year-old, you know, she's bouncing around now and doing all of her things. If she makes an error of some sort, I can't think of what it would be right now, but she does something. Am I going to scold her? Am I going to say, oh my gosh, that was wrong, you're bad? Well, no, because she is innocent. She is learning, she is growing. And that's what we need to look at for ourselves. That we need to accept that for ourselves, that we are learning, we are growing. I can remember a few years ago now that I was in a fairly dark space, and I needed to forgive. Forgiveness was necessary, and I needed to do it for my health, for my happiness. And I had never really been in that position that heavily before. And so, you know me, I love songs and this and that. So, and the movie Frozen hadn't been out very long. And so my mantra that I became very much accustomed to using was, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Just let go of whatever, the consternation was that comes up in my mind. Let it go, let it go. And it was helpful. It really was. And I still continue to use it to this day at times. I have a little joke for you. In fact, Alan shared this with me. Do you know why you don't hand a balloon to Elsa? Elsa is the primary character in Frozen. You know why you don't hand a balloon to Elsa? She'll let it go. So I want to reiterate some points that I think that we just want to nail into this topic today. Everyone is always doing the very best that they can, based on the extent, based on their knowledge, based on their awareness, based on their consciousness. Everyone, including yourself. So be kind, be open, be patient with yourself and others. Remember that we are only living where and when? In the now. That's all there is. So whenever our mind wants to wander back or wander forward, just say, thank you very much. I am living right here and right now, because this is the truly only place that is. Life is. Being is. God is. That is in the current, in the present tense. There is only one. One power, one life, one presence, one self. When I look at you, I see myself. When I look at you, I see myself. We are all one. We can never deny, we can never hurt someone else without hurting ourselves, because there is no distinction, there is no differentiation between us. There's a song that we used to sing here every Sunday, and I wanted to share that with you as I close. And if you remember it, you can sing it with me. We are one, we are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in this unity, we all live in harmony, and peace has come, for we are one. We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in this unity, we all live in harmony, and peace has come, for we are one. And peace has come, for we are one. We are one. Enjoy it. Be kind. Be generous. Know that there is no limitation to what and who we are. Let go of those bygones. Let them be bygones. Choose to be happy. Choose to live in the now. And know that the best is always right here and now. Namaste.